Last week on Viewpoints, we looked at how phones and social media are shaping today's classroom. But technology isn't the only uphill battle schools are facing. This week, we continue our Back to School series with Part 2, a look at the other pressures teachers and principals juggle as students settle into the classroom. Because teaching has never been just about books and lesson plans. Ask any educator, and they'll tell you that the role stretches beyond academics and the regular workday.
I know more teachers than not that work all summer. We have professional development that started in June, goes through July, goes through August. Teachers that are taking grad school classes because they have the time now and they don't have it during the year. I teach summer school. I taught summer camps all through the district. I've led professional development. I've attended professional development. So it's not like, us teachers are starting work the first day of school. We started a week or two before that, unpacking, cleaning, preparing, getting ready for the kids, making sure I have everything for them.
That's Lindsay, a fourth-grade elementary school teacher in the Chicago suburbs. For this story, she's not sharing her last name, so she can speak openly while still maintaining her privacy. She's been teaching for a little under 10 years now and says that every year is different and comes with a new set of focuses.
I'm already stressed about making sure that my students are going to hit their MAP scores, making sure that I am having curriculum that's good for them, that's the best for their learning, making sure I have the tools that students need, whether they have ADHD or any kind of other learning disability. We're starting a new reading curriculum, so that's like a whole new thing that we'll be teaching this year in a completely different way than we're used to. So we always say in the teaching world that once the 4th of July passes, like teachers, we're already back into it, and August is like the Sunday of our summer, and we're August 1st, it's basically the first day of school, even if it's not.
This often hectic introduction back into learning and testing isn't just happening in Lindsay's classroom, but in schools across the country. Kathleen Corley, a longtime educator and principal at Red Cedar Elementary in Bluffton, South Carolina, Corley says there's been a lot of positive change and progress in schools since she started teaching in the 90s. Sometimes it can be easy to fixate on all of the negatives like student phone use and low testing scores, but there has been a lot of progress.
I think the biggest challenges back when I started as a principal was to make sure everyone was on board with what we were trying to do. That is, that all the teachers were trained in what was best practice for getting even the most reluctant students to learn, even the most learning disabled students to learn, even the students who came from the most difficult circumstances to learn, and to help get the parents on board to help us, to be partners with us.
Today, many schools in the U.S. also have more specialized support staff and resources than 10 or 20 years ago.
We ran on a bare bones staffing personnel group. There were large class sizes. I'll say large, meaning high 20s, 23, 24, 25 students in a class with no assistants, meaning paraprofessionals, in the rooms to help, except for in kindergarten. There was a nurse, but she wasn't a certified nurse. She was a paraprofessional herself. She gave medicines. So they say follow the money when you want to know what somebody really cares about. Well, what we cared about, what our bosses and the board cared about, was teaching the children in the classroom. The playground equipment was not so good. The desks dated back almost to when I was in school. We did have desks in 1990 that still had inkwells. Things didn't get replaced. Things didn't get repaired. I'm not complaining about Lynchburg City schools. It was like that in lots of places.
These resources still need improvement, but compared to those earlier years, many schools now have access to reading specialists, interventionists, and mental health professionals on site. These additional employees share the weight the teachers used to carry alone. Corley says that this added support is critical right now as schools continue to face heightened behavioral challenges and lingering ripple effects from the COVID-19 pandemic.
I don't want to forever blame COVID for anything. And here comes the but. But it was much harder to get most of these children to understand the difference between, respect and disrespect of themselves, of each other, of their teachers.
And these issues from the pandemic also carried over into academics, especially delays in reading comprehension, English, and math. In recent years, Corley says there's been an uptick in the number of children who have needed to attend summer school to get extra help.
It's hard for us to teach as we would, building on what last year's teacher did. If last year's teacher was mostly mom or not anybody, I'm not dissing mom. Please, we need all the moms and dads and uncles and siblings and everyone to help and to show children that reading is fun, reading is important. You get this down, you can do anything in the world. And by the way, you'll enjoy it as well. But if there was no structured reading program and we did the best we could, which is all I can say for the COVID times.
Teaching today isn't without its hurdles, from the lasting impacts of COVID to challenges that existed long before. But for many educators, the rewards still outweigh the setbacks. Every fall, new students walk through the door, and every spring they leave a little different, with new skills, new confidence, and much more that can't be put into words. To find out more about this topic and our guests, Kathleen Corley and Lindsay, visit viewpointsradio.org. For more behind the scenes and to support our show, check out Viewpoints Radio on X, Facebook, and Instagram. This segment was written and produced by Amira Zaveri. Our studio manager is Jason Dickey. I'm Gary Price.